So as a lot of you guys know, I'm a huge competitive FPS gamer, so today I thought it would be cool to count down the top 3 competitive FPS games. Note that these games don't have to be released in 2017, they just have to be still good in 2017. So with that said, let's hop into the video right now. Coming in at number 3 on this list is going to be Rainbow Six Siege, and actually this is one of the games that I was really excited about when it first initially released, and then when it came out, I was a little bit disappointed. I feel like though Ubisoft is really stuck with this game, and they've actually been adding a lot of content into the game with new operators and new maps, and overall the game has just gotten better. When the game was initially released, there was a huge problem with cheaters, but from what I understand, what I've been playing, I haven't really run into as many cheaters nearly as I was. With competitive FPS games, cheating can really ruin a game, so it was good to see that Ubisoft actually took the extra effort and they actually went out and tried to address the problem. Rainbow Six Siege is actually a really fun game with competitive mode actually getting really intense because you have 5-on-5 matches, everyone's playing a different operator, which means everyone has like the specific set of skills that they can do, and actually it leads to a lot of good teamwork, which is something that you want in a competitive FPS game. And some of the most intense moments that I've ever had playing an FPS game are when I'm sitting there defending and I have no clue where the other operators are at, I have no clue who's gonna bust in at any time, and then all of a sudden you hear an explosion in the window, people are busting through, bada bing, bada boom, you're shooting at people, and it just gets really intense, and no other game for me recently has really done that like Rainbow Six Siege has. And it's good to see that the community is still supporting this game. When this was initially released, I was a little bit worried that this game was not going to be supported and the community was going to die out, but the community is still supporting this game. It's actually becoming more and more accepted as an esport, and that's absolutely awesome to see, because I had really high hopes when Rainbow Six Siege came out, and actually it seems like Ubisoft and the community is still keeping this game alive, and it is a fun game, and if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. Coming in at number 2, and please, before I say the name of this game, please note that this is just my opinion. Please don't go in the comments and type that I should kill myself and this and that, but we probably know you're gonna do it anyway, but please try not to. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Overwatch, and this is of course the FPS game created by Blizzard. If you don't know them, they created World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, Diablo franchise, and plenty of other awesome games. Blizzard is one of the most renowned companies in gaming right now, and they always seem to deliver with their games, Overwatch not being the exception to that. Overwatch is an absolutely amazing game. It's awesome, it's competitive, and it's one of the best games I think that has released in recent memory. Similar to Rainbow Six Siege, everyone plays a different role on their team. In this case, it is not operators though, it is heroes. Each hero has a specific set of skills and they have 2 moves that they can do, and that is a really interesting part of this game. It's very similar to Team Fortress 2 gameplay wise, a lot of people say, but in my opinion, the Overwatch gameplay is leaps and bounds better than Team Fortress 2, and unlike Team Fortress 2, it seems like Blizzard is actually keeping up to date with this game, and that might be because it's making millions and millions of fucking dollars. Overwatch seems to be everywhere. It's one of the most popular games out right now, and for very good reason. Blizzard continues to try to balance the game, which is something that is really good for an FPS game. They might not always hit the mark, but for the most part, I think they've been doing a really good job. Mentioning the fact that Blizzard has been adding in events which keep the community refreshed is also really good to see. My only problem with the game is at lower levels of competitive, it can seem almost impossible to get out of unless you have a group of friends, even more so than a game like CSGO where I feel you can carry. In Overwatch, it becomes a lot harder to carry at lower ranks because teamwork is so important. But teamwork being so important might actually be a good part, because in competitive games, teamwork is a good thing to have, but once again, if you're solo queuing, teamwork might not always be the best option. But overall, Overwatch is a lot of fun and definitely a game that I see sticking around for a very, very long time. And it is definitely something that is going to become a classic in games. I think we're going to look back on this game in 10 years and probably still think very fondly of it, just like I think we are with the other games on this list. But Overwatch is definitely a really fun game. If you don't have it already, what the fuck are you doing? It's one of the most popular games out right now, and I believe it's only $30 to $40. Go out and get it. It is a ton of fun. So coming in at number 1 is kind of going to be more of a little bit of a biased pick, and it is going to be Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I'm sure if you watch my channel on a regular basis, you could have saw this one coming. My channel pretty much is all based around Counter-Strike, so it was kind of reasonable for me to pick Counter-Strike. I don't know, I think Counter-Strike is one of the most fun games I've played. I've been playing it since 2012, and I still continue to play it, which should be saying something about Counter-Strike. The game has seen a lot of changes. Valve continually updates the game, and I think in the more recent years they've been getting a lot better about updating the game as Counter-Strike has been getting more and more popular. A lot of people like to say Counter-Strike is dying, but if anything, I think it's doing better than ever. Counter-Strike is in a really good place right now where I feel like the game is actually fairly balanced and there aren't any super glaring issues like there used to be maybe about a year or two ago. The reason I think I like Counter-Strike a little more than Overwatch is I feel like in Counter-Strike, despite what your team is doing, you can still carry a game. And probably someone's typing in the comments right now, once again, oh, you can carry an Overwatch, you can do this and that. But I feel like in CSGO, everything comes down to you. You don't really have to worry about what your teammates are doing. Of course, teamwork is an important part of the game, and at the higher level, you can't really win without teamwork. But I feel like my individual performance isn't based on anything else other than me and my individual performance. And I feel like in other games like Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege, you rely a little bit too much on your teammates, and some people might like that, but I like more of having to only really worry about my individual self and then just trying to use teamwork to also win the game. Some people might disagree with that, but that's just personally how I feel. CSGO, in my opinion, is one of the very few classic FPS games that we have left, one that doesn't hold your hand and one that you will absolutely go out and get destroyed in. Some people argue that this might be changing in CSGO, but I still think CSGO is one of the more hardcore FPS games that you can play. But once again, people will always disagree. But guys, these are my top 3 competitive FPS games 2017 edition. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. What are some games that you think could be added on this list? What are your top 3 competitive FPS games? Tell me down in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, be sure to smack that like button. If you dislike the video for some odd reason, hit the dislike button. And if you're new, how about you subscribe? But yeah, guys, this has been The Chosen One Inc. And as always, peace out.
Working on myself, by myself, for myself. I don't need your helper from my voice over wealth. I'm a sinner, fuck heaven, I'm in hell. Fuck 1 + 12, rather dead than in jail.